In this edition of Hidden History, we're going to check out the Arthur Hill Datestone. Through my work here at the Castle Museum, I was able to get into Arthur Hill High School and pick up some artifacts that they had. So I go to the back of this room, and it's all slanting downward because, you know, the bleachers are right there. So I'm down on my knees, crawling in and just handing stuff back to Sandy, my coworker. I handed her this plaque. I handed her this plaque and said, "There's a big stone here and it's in the way." And she said, "What does it say on it?" I said, "Well, it says 1888. She said, "I think that's important. I think you better pull that one out." So we pulled it out and just discovered what we had actually found. Most everyone's familiar with the Arthur Hill High School, formerly located on Mackinac, but this block comes from the earlier building, which was built in 1888 on the corner of Court and Harrison. But that's actually the second building. There's another building that was built in 1866 that predates that school as well. This red and brown sandstone likely came from quarries in the Marquette area of the Upper Peninsula. The building was designed by architect F.W. Hollinger, and one of Hollinger's favorite things to do was to put a date stone on all of his buildings. So this one was up high on the building on the side that faced Court Street. When the building was torn down in 1950, the block disappeared. So a company had paid $1,500 for the salvage rights to the Arthur Hill building as it was being demolished. And this stone didn't really mean a whole lot to the guy who had the salvage rights, so he allowed one of his workers to take it with him. And what he didn't realize is that this piece was supposed to be given to the school. It was supposed to be given to Chester Miller, the superintendent of the public schools at that point. But it went missing. Nobody knew what happened to it. They looked for it. They called the guy from the salvage company and he said, "That doesn't really ring a bell." They said, "Well, it was a big block." And it said 1888 on it. He said, you know what? I think one of my workers asked for that." And so they went and talked to the guy, and he indeed did have the block. And but he didn't necessarily want to give it up. But Mr. Chester Miller went over there, offered him a nominal donation, and was able to procure the stone back for the school. The student council decided that they wanted to put it back on display over in the vicinity of the front main office. So they had this plaque made commemorating the stone and telling what it was. So if people came in, they saw a stone that was just sitting there, it wouldn't mean a whole lot. But when you pair it with the plaque that describes how it was found and it was pulled out of the old Arthur Hill and re-erected in the new building to bring that old history of that former school along with its current history, and now it's even moved on from that into its next step. When you work in a museum, you don't just take old stuff and put it on a shelf. You collect the stories, because without the stories, the objects are just things. But when you have a story to tell, like this block has a story to tell. Even from the groove marks from when it was quarried to when it was taken to the building to be put on the facade, to the point it was taken away and lost and then triumphantly came back to the new Arthur Hill High School. Local history matters, and you'd never know what you're going to find when you go to your local museums and local historical societies. So take the time and visit and learn about all these fantastic stories that we have in all of our communities.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe. And make sure to click that bell icon to stay notified when we upload new content. Videos like this are only possible because of viewers like you. To help support this channel, click on the link in the description below. We'll see you next time.